This time I'm going to create this boxer bracket. It's from Too Tall's Toby's tournament. And we see the size, 94 between the arms, outside of the arms. The slot here is placed in the center, 47 from the center to the outside of the arm. And we see that this cylinder, length is 50, diameter is 32. And we have the slot. This radius is 16, that means it's 32 in width, 22 between this center points. And we have the arm, the angle is 27 and the width is 35. But I will begin with this cylinder and then also the slots, so we will get them in the right position. So I will move the drawing to the other screen. I will begin with the cylinder and I will rotate it this direction, minus 90, and the diameter should be 32, and the length 50. Then I will drop a slot on this side on the cylinder so that it will be in the same part. The width of this slot is 32. The length is 22 plus 32. And the thickness is 14. And I will also flip the extrusion so they are in level with each other on this side. Then I will use the tribal to move the slot in the right position. And the distance between, first I have to move the tribal to the center point of this arc here. So now the distance between this center point and to the center point of the cylinder is 87. And then the distance between the center point and this point here, the quadrant, is 47 minus 19. And we can see that here on the drawing. We have 47 to the outside of the arm, and then from the outside of the arm to this side of the cylinder is 19. Then I will continue with this guy here. I will add an extrude shape. We see that there is no dimension for the thickness, but it's 4 millimeters from that side of the slot to this side of this extrude, and then it is in level with the slot on this side. And the height is 30, goes up to the center of this hole in the slot. So I will grab an extrude, drop it here, and I will flip the direction like so, and I will now move this side to the center point of the arc. Right click this height handle here, edit distance from this side of the slot -4, and then I will snap this handle to this side of the slot. And the height is 30. And then the distance from this side to the center point of this arc is 47. So this is the outside of the arm, and the total length is 94. Like so. Now I will add more material so that so I will get this profile. Usually you use an extrude shape, drop it on this side, and then get the right dimensions or add the right dimensions. But you can also do it in another way. Perhaps it's much slower, but it's nice to know there are different ways of doing things. So if you select the face here, grab this handle. If I now drag this handle downward, I will create an extrude shape. If I drag it the opposite direction, I will create a cut extrude. So I will do that. I will drop it there, and I will right click this handle, and the distance between that handle and that side to this point, or the center point, I should have chosen the center point, but I will click here on the midpoint here. That's 47. Then I will grab this handle, drag it in this direction, then I right click and edit distance from this side, or sorry, I have to do it again. Right click, edit distance from the slot is 28. So now we have a cut extrude. If I now right click on this face, I can't right click here because this is nothing. It's nothing here. So I have to right click on the surface or a face. If I do that, right click, I can go to edit feature options. And here I will choose from remove to add material and click OK. So now we have that material here and the right size of it. So that's one way of doing it. Sometimes it's much slower, but it's nice to know how we can do things in another way. Well, I will continue to adding this part here. So I will use an extrude shape again. I will drop it on this side here so that I will have the cross section on this side. So I right click here. First I will flip extrusion and change the thickness to 10. Now if I right click, go to edit cross section, we have the cross section on this side here attached to that part here. So now I can double click on that line to select all of them and then delete them. Then I will use W to look at, and then I will project this edge and the cylinder. Now I will use tangent 2-point line, click on the cylinder, and then I will click on this end point. Then I use a perpendicular 2-point line, click on this line, so now we see that that line is now always perpendicular to the line I clicked on. So now I can come up here and select that quadrant here. Now we have a tangent constraint here, but it's not activated, but we see that it is in the right position. So now I can trim that line and the cylinder, and I will also click finish. So now we have the right look of this part of the bracket. Next step is to add the arms, or create the arms. We see the angle is 25, the width is 35, it's 70 from backside of the cylinder to the center of this cylinder. So I will use an extrude shape again, drop it here, right click to flip extrusion. The thickness of the arm is 10. Now I can right click, go to edit cross section. I will remove these lines. Use the W to look at. Then I will project this edge, that one, and this one. Come up here to select a 2-point line, click on this endpoint and drag it out in this direction, then right click. The slope should be minus 25. And the width of the arm here is 35. So I will use offset and select the line, change the distance here to 35, and I need also a center line, so I have to divide 35 by 2. I need 2 copies. I will remove the offset constraint because I don't need it. Then I click OK. And I will extend that line to this edge here. And then I will use a polyline, come down here, click on this side of the cylinder, drag it perpendicular this direction, right click, and type 70. Then I go straight up, perpendicular to the first one. Now we have an intersection here where we have 70 millimeters. So now I come up here to select the perpendicular line, click on this center line here. Now if I come to the intersection and then drag out, I will snap to that intersection. Like so. Then I can extend that line and I will trim these lines because I don't need them. Like so, and that one, and this one, and also this one. And then I can click finish. So now we have the arm. I move the camera to this position so that I can drag a cylinder and drop it here on the midpoint so it will be pointing in the right direction. And I will flip the extrusion, and the distance here to that side is 4 millimeters. The length is 26 and the thickness is 35. So now I can copy the arm, use the tribal, I move the tribal to the center of this arc, then right click, mirror and link, like so, and I will also add a fillet here, 8 millimeters. Then I will cut a hole. I use the cut cylinder, drop it there, and the diameter should be 20. And I will extend the hole to this side here. And then I will cut a hole here. And the diameter is 16. It will go through the cylinder. Then I have to cut a hole here, use a cut slot, and the width is 14. Length is 14 plus 22. And it will go through here, like so. So this is how we can create this boxer bracket in Ironcad.